My son believed I was poor, not because I lied to him, but because I never corrected him. For 35 years, Marcus watched me leave home before sunrise and return after dark. He saw the same worn shoes by the door, the same small apartment, the same quiet dinners. To him, I was ordinary, and that was intentional. I never told him that I earned $40,000 every single month. I never told him that I sat in boardrooms with men who controlled entire industries, that my signature could move millions with one stroke of a pen. Why? Because I didn't want my son to grow up measuring people by money. And because I learned early in life that true power survives in silence. I grew up with nothing, no safety net, no inheritance, no second chances. When Marcus was born, I was 23, abandoned and terrified. His father disappeared the moment I told him I was pregnant. My family turned their backs on me. I had a choice, give up or become unbreakable. I chose the second. I worked during the day and studied at night. I learned skills no one taught me. I slept 4 hours if I was lucky. I didn't buy luxury. I bought security. I didn't chase attention. I chased independence. So when success came, I hid it. I lived in the same modest apartment for decades. I wore clothes until they faded. I carried the same leather bag until the straps broke. Not because I had to, but because I refused to let money change who I was. Marcus never asked, and I never volunteered the truth, because I wanted him to respect people, not bank accounts. Then, one Tuesday afternoon, everything shifted. Marcus called me. His voice wasn't warm. It wasn't relaxed. It sounded nervous. Mom, he said, Simone's parents are coming from abroad. I stayed silent. They want to meet you. I could hear something unspoken beneath his words. Fear. Fear. Do they know anything about me? I asked calmly. The pause told me everything. Well, I told them you work in an office a big boy, that you live alone, that you're simple. Simple. A word people use when they don't want to say poor out loud. In that moment, I understood something painful. My son wasn't ashamed of me. He was afraid of being judged because of me. I felt something tighten in my chest. Not anger, disappointment, but I kept my voice steady. All right, I said, I'll come. After the call ended, I looked around my living room. The old couch, the quiet walls, the life I built brick by brick. And that's when I made a decision. If they wanted to see a poor woman, I would show them. Not because I was weak, but because I wanted to see who they truly were when they thought I had nothing. And that night, they showed me everything. Everything that Saturday night arrived faster than I expected. I stood in front of my mirror longer than usual, not to look forgettable. I chose the most worn dress I owned. Grey. Hey, wrinkled, shapeless, the kind of dress no one remembers. I slipped into old shoes with tired soles. No jewellery, no watch. I pulled my hair into a loose ponytail and studied my reflection. I didn't look poor. I looked invisible. And invisibility is how society treats people it thinks don't matter. I picked up my faded canvas bag and left. The taxi ride was quiet. The city lights passed by like silent witnesses. The closer we got, the heavier my chest felt. Not fear. Hope, a foolish hope that maybe I was wrong. That maybe Simone's parents would surprise me, that kindness might exist without conditions. Then the taxi stopped. The restaurant stood like a palace, warm golden lights, glass doors, a doorman in white gloves. I stepped out, and the test began. Inside, everything whispered money, crystal glasses, soft piano music. People dressed like success had chosen them. I saw Marcus first. He was standing stiffly near a long table by the window. His eyes kept darting toward the entrance. When he saw me, his face changed. Not joy, shock. Mom, you came? His voice sounded like a question. Of course, I said softly. I said I would. Simone approached next. She kissed my cheek quickly, too quickly. Her smile was tight. Nice to see you, she said, but her eyes avoided mine. Then I saw them. Veronica and Franklin. They were already seated, waiting, like royalty waiting for a subject to approach. Veronica wore an emerald green dress that shimmered under the lights. Jewels sparkled at her neck, wrists, fingers. Franklin wore a flawless grey suit and a watch so large it demanded attention. They didn't stand. They didn't smile. They assessed. Veronica's eyes travelled slowly from my face to my dress, to my shoes, to my bag. She extended her hand, a cold touch. "A polite insult to pleasure," she said. Franklin followed with a brief handshake. "Nice to meet you. I was guided to the far end of the table. The seat no one wants. No one pulled out my chair. No one asked if I was comfortable. I sat. The waiter arrived with heavy menus written in French. I opened mine slowly. Veronica watched. Her smile sharpened. "Oh," she said, "do you need help with that?" "Yes," I replied quietly. "You don't really understand," she sighed. Not loud, but deliberate. "I'll order for her," she told the waiter. "Something simple, not too expensive." Marcus looked down at the table. Simone folded her napkin. No one defended me. That was when I understood. This dinner wasn't about family. It was about status, and I was already losing exactly as they expected. But what they didn't know was that I had spent my entire life watching rooms like this, learning who speaks first, who interrupts, who looks down, and who underestimates the wrong person. But the food arrived like artwork. Tiny portions on massive plates garnished with flowers no one eats. Veronica smiled as if she were hosting a private exhibition. "This steak is $80, she said casually, slicing into it. "But quality is worth paying for." She glanced at me. I nodded. "Of course." The first lesson of the night. Let them talk. They always reveal themselves. Veronica began describing their hotel, $1,000 a night, their rental car, their shopping trips. Franklin added numbers like trophies. Marcus tried to change the subject. Failed. Then Veronica turned to me. "And so," she said sweetly, "what exactly do you do for work?" I lowered my eyes. "I work in an office," I replied. "I help with paperwork, filing, simple things." Her smile tightened. Oh, administrative work," she said. "That's honest. A word people use when they mean small." She nodded slowly. "All work has dignity, of course, but her tone said otherwise." Then came the wine. Veronica lifted her glass and swirled it dramatically. "This bottle is $200, she said. "It's from a very exclusive region in France." She took a sip. "And not everyone can appreciate wine like this. That comes with travel, education, experience." I smiled politely. "I usually drink the cheapest one," I said. "I don't know much about wine." She smiled in relief, as if my ignorance reassured her superiority. Then she asked about my hobbies. "What do you do in your free time?" "I cook. I watch television. I walk in the park." She nodded. "How lovely," she said. "Simple pleasures." Franklin chuckled softly. Simone stared at her plate, Marcus's jaw tight. Then Veronica asked the question she had been waiting for. "Did you help Marcus financially when he got married?" The table went quiet. "Not much," I said. "I gave what I could." "How sweet," she replied. "The intention matters more than the amount." She leaned back. "We helped quite a bit," she continued. "The house down payment, the honeymoon. It's important to give your children the best." She looked directly at me. "You live alone, don't you?" "Yes, that must be hard," she said, with fake concern, especially in your age. "Limited income, no partner," she sighed. "Marcus must worry about you." There it was. The knife slipped between the ribs. We wouldn't want that worry to affect his marriage. I felt the room tighten. Marcus clenched his fists beneath the table. Simone's eyes filled with tears she refused to let fall. And then Veronica delivered the final blow. "We were thinking," she said carefully, "perhaps we could help you financially." She smiled. "A small monthly allowance, just so Marcus doesn't have to worry." I stayed silent. "How much?" I asked softly. "Oh, well, $500, maybe $700. $700. A price tag on my disappearance. In exchange," continued, "we'd only ask that you give the young couple space, not rely on them too much. In other words, be grateful. Take the money. And go away." Marcus finally snapped. That's enough. But I raised my hand. No, let them finish, because arrogance always overplays its hand. And tonight they were writing their own ending. The table was quiet, not the comfortable kind of quiet, the dangerous kind, the kind that waits. I folded my napkin slowly and placed it beside my plate. Then I looked up. For the first time that night, I didn't look small. That's a very generous offer, I said calmly. Veronica smiled, relieved. I'm glad you understand. I tilted my head slightly. But before I answer, I just want to understand something. Her smile froze. How much did you say you helped Marcus and Simone with the house? Veronica straightened proudly. $40,000. And the honeymoon. $15,000. I nodded slowly. Oh, so about $55,000. Franklin smiled, pleased with the math. When you love your children, Veronica said, you don't hold back. I met her eyes. You're right, I said. When you love your children, you don't hold back.